Zach here with the Max Impact Dog Training. In today's video, I'm going to be going over how to teach the place command to your dog. The place command serves a multitude of purposes in training, and it is one of the first obedience commands that we teach to dogs. The reason why we like to start teaching dogs the place command as one of the first obedience commands is that it is a relatively easy command for the dog to learn, due to the criteria not being that difficult. Unlike commands such as sit or down, where it requires the dog to maintain a stationary position, with the place command, we are simply asking the dog to stay on an elevated platform, rather than hold a very specific position. I like to also use the place command as the first obedience command that the dog learns, because it helps the dog to understand certain marker words, such as the continuation marker and the release marker. Outside of the place command being beneficial as the first obedience command that a dog learns, place also serves as a functional part of obedience in the day-to-day life that you share with your dog. Place can be used in a wide variety of contexts, such as when you're in the house doing certain activities or chores, and you need the dog to be away from you, but you also don't want the dog to wander freely around the home and get into trouble. Rather than putting the dog into a separate room or kenneling the dog, you can put the dog on the place command, and they can sit there for however many minutes it takes you for you to do that activity. Having a dog go to a place command while you're doing things such as dishes, laundry, vacuuming the house, or even if you're sitting down and relaxing watching a movie. The place command can also help younger and adolescent dogs regulate their emotions and get them into a calmer state of mind. This is because when we utilize the obedience command to confine the dog to place, they learn to settle down and relax on their own. This can then transfer to a dog learning to relax on their own without an obedience command. Now on to teach the dog the place command. You'll begin by giving the dog the place command, and then utilize your leash and collar to guide them up onto the elevated platform. As soon as the dog is up on the elevated platform, with all four paws touching, you can then release them using the release marker, and then go into the reward phase, using one of your reward markers. We want to continue this process until the dog is jumping up onto the place command very enthusiastically. And as soon as the dog gets up onto place, we want to immediately release them. Right now in the beginning, we are simply focusing on getting the dog up onto the elevated platform, and are not worried about building duration. Once the dog is consistently getting up onto the elevated platform, we can then start to begin increasing duration with the dog. To do this, we simply wait a few seconds before releasing the dog using our release marker. If the dog tries to get off of place prematurely, without us giving them the release marker word, we simply give them the no reward marker and put them back onto the place command. We will continue this process, slowly increasing the amount of duration we're able to have the dog stay on the place command. Once the dog learns that they are only allowed to get off of place when given the release word, and that every time they do get off of place, you will give them the non-reward marker and put them back onto place, you will see that they will go up to place and wait patiently for that release word. Once we have the dog consistently going to place with enthusiasm and also working on duration with the place command, then we can begin to add distractions into the environment, such as another dog, people coming and going, walking by the dog on place, and many more distractions that are similar. Now, some common questions that I often get about the place command is that does the dog have to sit or lay down on the elevated platform? And the answer is as long as the dog has all four paws on the elevated platform, it doesn't matter what the dog's doing. I sometimes tell my clients that the dog could be doing a handstand for all I care, as long as they are staying on the elevated platform. And if you are consistent with using your non-reward marker and putting the dog back, the second they put their paw off of the elevated platform, they are going to learn very quickly that they have to stay and maintain that obedience position until released with the release marker word. Because the criteria for success is extremely high and the dog only has to stand up on the elevated platform, this makes it a very easy to learn first obedience command for the dog. It also helps the dog to master the release marker word, the continuation marker word, and the non-reward marker word. When the dog understands these marker words and the foundational obedience, it will make it much easier for the dog to understand obedience commands such as sit, down, and heel. Not only will it make further learning in the training program easier for the dog, but when the dog understands place, you can begin to utilize it in your daily life to help manage some of your dog's unruly behaviors around the house. I hope you find this video helpful in your training endeavors with your dog. And remember, keep on training.